This month we speak with Paddock Speedshop at Autosport International. Ben sits down with Ambi Singh from Easy to Recruit to see how he's trying to close the skills gap. We visit the Wolverhampton branch of Machine Mart, and we hear from Complete Diagnostics on how their coding tool can help garages smoothly diagnose issues. Tim Shaw from Car SOS visits brake engineering in Wrexham. We also speak with Nigel from Revolution Race Cars, and we have a feature from WAI. First, we visit Hella at one of their recent college open days.
The industry gets a bad light from mums, dads, teachers because they think it's a dirty job.
I don't want them to think, as I did, I thought I was just going to continue to be a technician. I've had a fantastic career.
There is so much more to the aftermarket.
Hella is holding a series of college open days at its academy in Banbury throughout 2025. Alongside the teaching of practical skills, the aim is to showcase the wide range of career opportunities available in the automotive aftermarket.
When I left school, I was 15 and I went to a YTS, which sadly is not around at the moment, but when it was, we was not exploited to the different areas of the sector, and you was kind of under the illusion that if I continue to be a technician, I'll always be a technician and never be able to progress.
So there is a part of it that is important for Hella, and hopefully the name Hella sticks with some of these students for future years when they're making buying decisions. But also I think, Hella is an important part of the UK aftermarket, and if everybody plays a part in trying to help where they can to address some of the skills gap that we have, then hopefully we can make that gap that little bit smaller.
If more brands did this, then more people would be attracted to the industry. The industry gets a bad light from mums, dads, teachers because they think it's a dirty job, but actually because the technology is increasing, as we said in the room, the more technology comes in, the cleaner the work's going to be, the more the wages go up and the more desirable the job becomes. We are automotive engineers, not our mechanics that we used to be.
We are the new upcoming generation, and everyone says that, we are very important, but to have such a big company, to such a big brand, to just give us the time and have such a welcoming reception, they've been so good, answered every single one of our questions, stopped talking to allow us to speak and question, and it's just so nice to see that companies are backing up what they're saying with action, and Hella is possibly one of the first to actually do that, to invite us in and say, no, look, you want to know what we're doing? We will show you. You want to ask questions? We will answer them. Hella have been absolutely fantastic.
Some want to stick into a garage, some want to be garage owners, some actually know that maybe a garage isn't for them forever, and actually they want to go and work for these companies like Hella and other brands because they want to make a difference and they want to see the world through automotive, because automotive is massive, it's not just spanners and spray guns.
I think what we do is we give them the opportunity to maybe see some of the future technological advances. We're spending a lot of time talking about diagnostics, remote diagnostics and ADAS, and they maybe don't see that in their day-to-day studies or their day-to-day work. So it's just about opening their eyes a little bit wider to what is available in the industry and hoping that it therefore cements their thoughts on automotive and the automotive aftermarket being a place that they can see themselves for the future.
There is so much more to the aftermarket, to the trade, and there are genuine possibilities for so many different jobs, for so many different types of people. You don't have to be that stereotypical grease monkey kind of person to work in the trade. Lots of different people, lots of different personalities, lots of different options, lots of different skills available to use and utilise, and you can be a valued member of the team.
Autosport International, what an opportunity for Paddock Speedshop.
It's really nice. I mean, we're here courtesy of Petrol Hedonism. Chiro's invited us down to display our 3 race cars in front of his stage. Predominantly we're going to be doing our stuff on the Saturday, Sunday. But it's such a great audience, and it's a very different audience being here with Petrol Hedonism, more of the supercar type, which is really the audience we want to break into, because young people love to see this shiny stuff. We're trying to convince them that these minis, these old Porsches, they're just as pretty, just as wonderful, have such a great history about them, and they're actually not as far outreach as you might think, as long as you take the right steps to get there.
Well, that's what you brought with you, isn't it? You brought a car to get you into motor race, and then you brought the more advanced vehicles for after. Tell us about the car that you're standing by.
So I'm stood, you're having to see the back of the car, so it's a much better view, but this is our Citroen C1. We use this, for us it was a means to an end. It's a very very entry-level racing, in the sense that being City Car Cup, this is pretty much a bog standard Citroen C1 with a great livery. It has a different suspension setup, it has a standard engine, all its interior removed, and then it's obviously got the safety requirements you need for motor racing, such as a full FIA cage, seat, and pull cords and whatnot. But apart from that, the kit you can buy for, I'm not sure how much, so I won't put a number on it, but not a lot of money. And of course, the Citroen C1 you can pick up in whatever shape you like, and it's just a great way to get in there. We used it so we could get our driver from a novice up to a national license in a very short amount of time. All will be revealed on the show, and it was fantastic. It's pretty close racing. It's lots of just nudging and barging, so that sort of thing. But it's entry level. It's a great place to learn. It's a great place to get your racecraft nailed. Our job for the season we did it, which was 2023, was to finish the races, which is often not as simple as it may seem. You get a bit of a twisted perception on how easy it is to just finish based on Formula One. But no, that was our driver's main goal. Although we were invited back to the City Car Cup in the end of last year to Brands Hatch, where he finally got to put himself out there. We had a great young team with us. Barrack Sport looked after us, changed the car setup. We ran on sustained synthetic fuel, and he was no longer running at the back of the pack just to stay out of trouble. He was now fighting in 7th place and taking seconds and seconds and seconds off the leader. And if it was a longer weekend, I think we'd have been up there.
And we've seen recently with other TV programmes how difficult racing is.
Yeah.
The fact that you got through the whole season and advanced must be a lot of pride in you.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everybody starts from knowing absolutely nothing. Now, when you race with a professional race team, you aren't being an apprentice, you start working there, then you're relying on the fact that you're an apprentice there to learn, and the guys that are doing it are showing you. We have pretty much no experience. I mean, older guys in the team have done it when they were, my age, younger, just a bit of sprinting, hill climbing back in the day. But it's very different to track racing. You pretty much can't do track racing without a team around you. And that's why it's really important to just push the side that, it's a great way for you and your mates, if you've got a bit of spare money, put it in a pot and have a good time. But it's not all about the driver. It's not all about crossing the finish line first. There's so much more that goes into a race weekend. And that's why with a good group of mates around you, with a good vision of where you want to be, what type of race you're trying to run, are you trying to be competitive? Are you trying to get to the finish line? Or are you just trying to turn up, get the time in and build up your racecraft? Understanding all of that before you get into it makes it a much more enjoyable experience. So as we move on, you might start your racing career in something like a city car and then want to go into a completely different discipline. We rebuilt this Mini after it had been built and rebuilt and respected to do road rally. And not just road rally, but it can do stage rally as well. Probably more of the sort of long tours across various stages. It's not going to be throwing around in inches of dirt because I really don't have to wash it after that. It's got a very, very high level paint job on it and I'm not into it. But this is a fantastic car. It's got a Swift Tune engine. It's again got a full cage for safety reasons, harnesses, extinguishing, and then inside's completely gutted. It not only do you not have any of the seats, carpets and whatnot, but it's got completely bespoke dashboards. We're still setting all of that up to have dual control so that your navigator can operate something like wipers, your wipers, lights, that sort of thing, washer bottle, all the things that if you're driving a rally stage and the driver doesn't want to take his hands off the wheel but needs a quick call out, your co-driver can deal with that. And silly things like a map light, just good old-fashioned classic racing stuff, is all going into this car. So you might find that that's where you sit. Yes, it's a bit more expensive to get into. You don't need a Mark 1 Cooper S to do it. You could do it in something in the city car range. But it's just a great example of how starting at the basic level, starting maybe at hill climb, and you want to leave the motor circuit amongst other cars and start doing time attack events, start doing rally, start doing stages, then this is a great way of doing it. Finally, next to the Shake and Bake NASCAR, which isn't ours, but would be very cool, is the Exports 56's 356. Now this for us was where we were aiming to get into when we used the C1. Now of course, again, don't want to spoil too much of the story, but we raced the C1 as a means to an end. Now if you want to race at this level with this kind of car, at this caliber, this value, 9 times out of 10 your driver is going to need a certain level of license. So you start as a novice, and the more race weekends you attend, you get ticks, which then prove your experience on track, and you'll have to go up to, for this sort of thing, probably a national B or international license, depending on the value of the cars, which makes a lot of sense. They don't want to see them all knocked and cornered and smashed to bits. This is a 356 Porsche. It's a bit of a mule for 356 for Export 56. It's not a matching numbers car by any means, and we used it to test to decide, is a 356 platform what we want to use at Goodwood or races similar? The answer we came to was yes, certainly, not this one, but are we ready for that? It's a very different platforms, what we're used to. The point is, it's different levels of racing. You know, this may not be what you're into, and you may just choose to stick with C1 style stuff, maybe move into MX-5s, Porsche Cup, anything like that. The point is, find the place you want to start and build up to the place you want to be. There's no sense thinking you've got to wait your entire life until you're grey-haired and can afford this sort of thing. Don't wait till that time. Jump into something a bit more affordable. Have a good time. Get your team together with your friends and start racing.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online, or call.
Before we get into what you're actually up to at the moment in the industry, tell us about your story.
So, my story is about changing and helping the skills gap in the automotive industry. That's the latest story I've got.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm a garage owner myself, very passionate about the aftermarket. About 3 years ago, we had a very big dilemma. What happened was, we were considering closing 1 or 2 branches and amalgamate them due to the skills shortage.
So it wasn't a profit issue, it wasn't the fact the business wasn't there, it was purely because you couldn't get the staff.
Yeah, so you know, like all the garage owners will agree with me, post-COVID we've seen our figures soar. Every garage business has succeeded after COVID. The issue was, you know, it was very stressful.
Yeah.
You know, the morale in the workshops were getting low. We were overbooked and we were having a lot of rollovers where, you know, a rollover would happen very rarely. We'd have about 3-4 customers. We'd have to be explaining to them why their cars aren't going to be ready that day. The majority is going to be, there was 2 issues at that time. Issue of our workforce, we never had enough technicians. Number 2, there's a big backlog of aftermarket parts as well. And naturally our technicians were moving, either they were retiring or they were moving industry. Realistically, as garage owners, right, have we got the infrastructure to invite the new wave of apprentices? In the 1980s, it was fine. You know, you'd come into a greasy garage, you'd come into a workshop with no heating, you'd come in, you know, and you'd buy your own tools.
Yeah.
16-year-old whose main aim is to become a TikTok star. How are we gonna make him part with his weekly wage to buy tools?
And I want to come in at that point and take you back now to your youth, because obviously we spoke earlier off camera.
Yeah.
You've developed a business brain. You were telling me about a story back in India, where you noticed a gap. Tell us about that and how you've developed as a business person.
Let's get back to en route about the skills gap and talent. So, having multi-brand garages in Coventry and Rugby, we were facing a major shortage. We wanted to sort of break it down, and we were going to amalgamate some branches and end up with 3.
Yeah.
You know, today we've got 6. So we're going to end up with 3, close a couple down, and then we were going to sort of work on that basis, keep the same customer database, but we would have struggled with ramps and, you know, commitment to work. What happened in 2021 summer, it opened up a bit for COVID. I went to India and all of a sudden we ended up in a car dealership because my uncle's car started playing up. We needed to enter a car dealership and it was an Audi dealership. We went in, customer service was amazing and I was quite surprised because being Indian and going to India every single year, once or twice, but I'd never visited a dealership or any area, just one of those things. Then I was surprised with the actual interaction. Then I was surprised when the technician came out, and the story begins here. The technician came out, explained to my uncle what the issue is, how they're going to resolve it, how long it's going to take. And I was taken aback, and I was saying, wow, this is the time when we were thinking of closing a couple of branches down. I told him, wow, I need someone like you in my garages. Fast forward 6 months, he was working in our garage in Coventry.
The world now, we're all within touching distance of each other, aren't we? So this is what you're developing.
You know, everyone's got the world in their hand. That smartphone, you know, you don't have to do anything other than, you know, have your smartphone in hand. That's what the world is about. So what I felt when I came back, it was playing on my mind. I said, wow, that talent is amazing. So I did all the hard work, found out, you know, at that time we had relatives coming from India as well, and they were coming as care workers, you know, onto the NHS.
Yeah.
And so what I found after my research was, Ben, that everyone's talking about the skills gap, but no one knows that the government is supporting garages with a government-backed scheme. So after doing some research, I found out the government has given us a platform called the Skilled Worker Sponsorship Route. We have got a skills gap in the UK, no doubt, but there is a solution out there.
Yeah.
Why we're talking today, Ben, because the garage owner has got a profile of being that 50, 60-year-old from a British community, stuck in his old ways.
Been in the family for 100 years.
Been in the family for 100 years, passed on generation to generation, and they're not thinking out the box. They're not into innovation. You know, they haven't progressed the workforce here.
Yeah,
it's all fine recruiting. We're talking about recruiting. What about retention? It's easy to get someone.
Well, this is the problem in the industry that we've spoken to many people, is that we attract people from different backgrounds, whether it be females into the industry, from different ethnic backgrounds. But once they're in, they're not staying, they're not sticking. So, of course, we've got gaps, because you can't keep just replacing people, because eventually you run out of people.
What it is, we're losing so many people out of the industry just because of the benefits. You know, gone are the days when no one wants to be on sick and not get paid for it. That's the reality. In the automotive industry, you pull a sickie and the gaffer is going to be on the phone saying, what are you doing? Don't you know we've got 10 MOTs booked today? Yeah? Because the infrastructure isn't there to cope with short numbers of staff.
The garage owner still thinks, I'll pay you a day's wage for a day's work. It doesn't work like that no more, does it? We're not in
No, so we're going back to the 1980s when that's the garage owner thought, you know, just like you said, you're getting paid, mate.
Yeah.
Get on with it. We need great technicians, we need good customer service, but above that, we need the blood lifeline of a business, the cash flowing in. Because we not only have to pay for your wages, pay for marketing for our business, where's that chunk of money sitting in the bank account to pay for training, to pay for days off, to pay for benefits, to pay for private pensions? It's not going to happen because, Ben, the garage owner doesn't believe that they can increase their labour rate.
Yeah. Easy to recruit. Tell us what it is, and then tell us about your success stories. Because I think people need to hear the amount of success stories you're having, and the way that you are offering a service, not just offering somebody to fill a position, offering a service. So over to your good self now.
Okay, so as I said, you know, we had the issue with our short staff, skilled. So from one technician, I've got 16 international technicians in my own branches now. So when I got 16 technicians in the part suppliers started asking me, Ambi, this is brilliant. You know, your workshops are so full of staff. We're overstaffed, which is brilliant. So then local garages starting asking me, people in the industry, how did you do it? So then in June 2023, we launched an aftermarket platform called Easy to Recruit, at the Auto Mechanica show. That's where all the story starts for Easy to Recruit. Being a passionate garage owner, I'm passionate about the aftermarket. So I've brought this to the aftermarket, and since we've launched, we've placed 42 technicians for other garages.
Now that's great. These people having to relocate, so it's not just a matter of employing them, is it?
No. So it's a government-backed scheme that we're broadcasting. We haven't invented it. We're just facilitating it. So the government-backed scheme, like I said, they've said, get yourself a license from the Home Office, and then you can invite via sponsorship this technician to come and work for you. What that means is some immigration paperwork, which our legal team takes care of. The next time, Ben, the garage owner is going to see the technician is when he walks through the door for a Monday morning. In between, we do the full relocation, A to B, 360 degrees. We're going to make sure he applies for a visa. We're going to make sure he books a ticket. We're going to pick him up from the airport. We've already got our Argus kitchen package ready for him to purchase. His microwave, his kettle. We're going to take him into his rented accommodation. We're going to integrate him into society. And we're going to make sure he knows the public route of buses or trains or walking to get to work on the Monday morning.
And if you've got one final message for the garage, what is it?
Well, to the garage owners of the aftermarket, we need diversity, right? And we need to sort of shake up our industry, because Ben, let's face it, my profile does not fit in the automotive industry. You know, there's not many hairy bearded turban wearing automotive leaders out there. What I'm trying to say, let's get some diversity, right? And diversity isn't just about talking on the top of your voice about females and the mixture. Diversity is, right, accommodating other candidates coming from abroad. Diversity is letting the belt loose and let other leaders into the associations, into the organizations, because we need to smell the coffee, right? We cannot just leave it to that 50, 60, 70-year-old British white dominated leader. I'm willing to have a conversation with any industry leaders, automotive platforms. You know, I'm reaching out to the IMI. We've joined the IAAF and they're helping us immensely. IMI, I want to have some conversations with, because, you know, there's a solution out there, Ben. There's a solution, but we're not accommodating that solution. It's a government-backed scheme. So we have this year pushed our marketing towards pushing this government-backed scheme.
I'm Jason. I'm the store manager of the Wolverhampton store. So what we do for the Automotive Aftermarket is we sell a range of different tools, which obviously we go from hobbyists all the way up to garage professionals. We've got a storage modular system. We've got toolboxes. We have all the gear for your garage to look really nice and tidy and very professional. It's to make everyone feel at ease. If you go into a garage and it looks nice and tidy, you want to go there, you want to spend your money. If you go to a garage that's untidy, you might not necessarily want to be there and spend your money with that garage because you're unsure of the quality of work that you're going to be getting. We try to get into discussions with customers when they actually purchase. So we're always trying to plan ahead in terms of know the next move. So for instance, if a garage comes in, they just want a jack, we'll start talking about what else do you need or what are you doing. So it might be as simple as an induction heater because they're struggling with the bolt to get off. We'll be able to turn around and go, tell them about an induction heater. It could be axle stands, it could be jump start, it could be various different things. But yes, we keep it all. Yeah, I'm a true believer that, if somebody comes in here and they want something, if we haven't got it right here, right now, I'll make some calls. All it is a time factor. So if you can spare me 5-10 minutes, I'll make some phone calls and I'll see how soon I can get it, the best possible price for you, and be able to get it so you've got an effective time scale to be able to pass on to your customer to do your job. There is nothing better than somebody actually physically coming in the store, being able to look, touch and feel, and even get some advice, from an actual person. Yes, you can shop online, it is easy, I understand that, but from talking to somebody, you can gain a world of knowledge, and then also the fact that you can actually see it, you'll be able to see whether it's actually the right thing for you, and you don't have the hassle then, because you're actually talking to someone, you can leave with an actual product happy, knowing that you can get on, do your job, and it's done. What we have here is our bench press. We have a few different ranges, a few different tons. The one slightly just behind here is the 4 ton. Then you have your 12 ton, and then you have your 10 ton. We have all the way up to 50 ton, which we can get you. We don't keep, unfortunately, in store because of the space, but we can get you all the way up to 50 ton, and you're looking a few days. But these are a very utilised, important tool within the garage sector, especially if you're trying to get bearings out, which are very, very tough. You'll use that, you'll be able to pump it down, and then you'll just get your bearing out. Another important product for the garage industry is our jacks that we do. So we do from your domestic, which is just listed here, going all the way up to your professional, and then we also have your bottle jacks. Now your bottle jacks, obviously, they go from 2 ton all the way up to 32 ton, we keep in store. Again, we can get bigger. We have our trolley jacks range. So these are big in the tyre industry because they're strong, they're professional, they're utilised tool, which they use to obviously jack up a car to change the wheels. We sell a lot of the 2 tons low profile in that range.
One of our most popular sellers, the jump starters and the maintainers. These are very popular, especially through winter, as many people's batteries conk out and die. These are perfect to get your batteries and your vehicles going again. So on the top here, we have all of these here are our jump starters. Connect them on, turn your car on, away you go. The ones that the garages and the local tradies tend to take more are of these ranges. They've got a lot more power to get the bigger batteries up and going. These also can start and charge. And then we go on to our smaller range of chargers just here, which are all perfect for people with motorcycles, classic cars, race cars, things that you don't use all the time but need to get going when you need to get them going.
One of the most important areas for our garages are toolbox areas, which you can see behind me. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what we've got. So this is one of our basic ones, obviously top box, middle box, and then bottom box. Got rollerball bearings, easy to use, easy to move around because it's nicely on wheels. It's got loads of space for you to be able to use loads of different tools and put them away nice and neatly, which any garage knows when you want to find a spanner or a socket, you want to make sure it's in the right place. Then from there, we go on to our very professional, as you can see here, modular system. The great thing about here is the amount of space that you have. So you've got storage for your large components, which you can see at the top there. Then at the back, we've got like our nice little pegboard. Then you've got other drawers on top of here. This one in particular is one of the nice ones, being able to just quickly grab something from out of there. And then obviously you have your other toolboxes underneath here, which is just your roller ball bearings, really good quality. This toolbox here is one of our most popular ones, mainly because of us in Wolverhampton, obviously the colours. So the lower drawers, obviously a lot deeper, which makes it easier to put bigger stuff in. So from your levers to your bars, to your breaker bars.
Another important product for the garages, engine crane, which is essential for getting all those big lumps out of the cars, vans, all sorts of vehicles. We do this one, which is 1 tonne. We also do another one, which is 2 tonne. It allows the garages to take out the engines safely and then place them onto an engine stand, which they can then work on the engine safely. And here we have the engine stand, which when paired with the engine lift, makes working on your engines extremely easy. Also here we have a bike lift, which you just put underneath the bike, jack the bike up, making your bike very easy to work on. And while we're discussing motorcycles, this here is another important part of our selection, as it's a very easy to use ramp that you just pull your bike on, clamp your front wheel there, and you've got all the room in the world to work on it. For something a little smaller and a little lighter, we also have this, which again, just pop underneath your bike, jack it up, and you've got easy access to whatever you want to work on. Our impressive air compressor range starts right down with an 8 litre compressor, which is perfect for using a nailer and a stapler. And we work our way up to all the 25 litre compressors, which are perfect for at home, doing your tyres and the odd little jobs around the house. We then go on to our 50 litre compressors on the bottom row here, which again, perfect for at home and a small garage. Then we get on to our more industrial range, starting off with the twin piston 14 CFM 100 litres, going on to the belt driven, more industrial compressors, going all the way up to 200 litres, which you can use on your normal household 3-pin. Thank you for taking a look at our store in Wolverhampton. We have many stores across the country.
Please have a look on our website for your newest store, and thank you very much for watching our feature.
Hi, I'm Andy Bolton from Complete Diagnostics. We are a remote vehicle diagnostics and coding specialist. We use our remote diagnostic tool to plug into your vehicle and connect over the internet, so it enables you to work from where you are. You don't have to bring the vehicle into us or anything like that. And we use manufacturer software in order to program the vehicle as the manufacturers intend the vehicle to be programmed.
So looking at the VW today, you're going to plug in the OBD. First part is just to locate, get the OBD the right way around. The tool's on, the indicator is that the lights are coming on, is getting battery source from the vehicle. So we're now ready to work. So we can see got battery power to the tool, it's ready to use. The orange light indicates that we're ready to look for signal, and you see a green flashing light. Green flashing light will start to go faster as we try to connect to the internet and then go solid, as we can see there. The tool comes with a permanent internet access. We can also join it up to your Wi-Fi if you like. Now let's get working on this vehicle. The ignition's on, we're ready to go. So now we're fully connected. We'll go get our tablet, iPad, iPhone, anything that we can get access to the internet. So if you can use a website, you can send a text, you can use the tool. So let's go get that sorted now.
Today I'm going to show you on a mobile phone. So a smartphone is the most popular choice of technicians in workshops to access our website and create the ticket. We have a live tool, it's gone green, so we start the process. Quite simply, press the arrow, automatically detects the VIN number of the vehicle, press next, it's telling us it's a VW, it's asking us to select the model, which is an Arteon. It's asking now for a model which is a shooting brake, and it's a 2 litre. So we press next and we move on to the menu. In this case we'll go to Assistance Common Faults and we will ask for remote diagnostic support. At this stage we'll be asked for a reference. We would usually put the registration number in there or job number, whatever is relevant to the business, and we will press create. And within 30 seconds of us pressing create, one of our technicians will appear on the screen. Calum has already answered, as you can see, and he will be asking us what we can do today. And from that point onwards, we enter into a live chat with our technician who will stay on the ticket from start to finish until it's concluded.
For tools and machinery, come to Machine Mart. Experts in our 65 superstores help you choose from the vast range, including air compressors, tool chests, stoves, welders, generators, water pumps, heaters, power tools, and much, much more. Or just order by phone or online. Look out for our money-saving special offers. Our free catalogue contains hundreds of price cuts and great new products. Or visit our website with thousands more specialist products in Machine Mart Extra. Shop in-store, online, or call.
Question for you, let's say the brake calipers on your car are knackered, they're in trouble. Where do you go to get them rebuilt? Like seriously, where are you going to go? I've got a right little belter for you here. I've found a place in the north of the country called Wrexham, and apparently there's a company here called Brake Engineering, and these guys, I mean, to put it into context, these guys are that good that ZF, as in, you've heard of them, the best manufacturer of gearboxes on the planet, the Germans, even came along and went, hang on a minute, you guys are amazing at rebuilding calipers. Can we have a slice of the action, please? And apparently, these guys, Brake Engineering, went, yeah, if you want. They're just down here on the right-hand side. Should we go and have a look round? Go on, why not? Right, I think I might be in the right place. Sweet, ZF. Right, now, just hang on there 2 seconds, because let me tell you what I'm thinking. I think I've made a mistake. From what I can see, from the scale of things here, I think these people actually manufacture calipers. So bringing old ones to them might be a mistake, but let's go and find, I mean, look at this lot. We look at them, they are new calipers, new bits of calipers, new pistons, the whole lot. So for me, I want these things off an old Granada Scorpio. I want these rebuilt. Guys, do you know where Paul is, the gaffer?
Yes, he's on the unit over there.
Hey, the geezer in the white shirt, he'll be the boss. Right, Paul, dude, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
Okay?
Well, I've got something for you.
Okay.
I think I might be in the wrong place. These are old calipers.
Yeah.
Those are all new calipers.
No, they were old at one point. They're only manufactured by ourselves.
So you guys can deal with these?
We can deal with them.
Any calipers?
Any caliper you want me to have a look at.
Right, well, let's see how good he is at this then. What are these off?
Let me have a look.
Identify those bad boys.
I would imagine it's off a Ford Sierra of some sort. Knowing you, it'll be something flash, I would think.
Go on, which one?
Cosworth, maybe?
Right, so here's the problem I've got with this caliper. It leaks.
Yep.
And I'm struggling to find, because in my mind, using the original equipment, OE gear, as in the way it was manufactured, is the way forward, right?
100%. So what we'll do, Tim, we'll strip the caliper down, inspect it. We'll throw away all the old seals, pistons, any rubber components. We will reuse the casting because it was originally off the car.
Right, well, let's talk about that then. So when the manufacturer originally makes a component for a car, I'm right in thinking they always use the best, you'd imagine they use the best grade material, right?
Of course.
So I've kind of like become aware recently, if you jump online, you can find very much cheaper versions of a caliper, which in a way make you think, well, I'll put that in the bin and go for the cheap one that might have come from China.
For me, just remember what this does. Stops you and your family. We have no idea what's going in the boxes that are coming from China. There's no government legislation to tell us what the casting is made of.
Yeah, but no, but hang on, there is on discs.
There is on discs.
Pads, I know there is.
But
it must be on caliper.
The product that stops the car has nothing whatsoever. So we don't know what that caliper is made of.
Stop a minute. Did you just hear that? So there is no legislation. Are you serious?
Yep. 100%.
So the bit that actually squeeze, right, so the whole point of the caliper is, you know, to squeeze the disc that's rotating to slow your car down. And you're saying that there's legislation for the pads, so the bits that squeeze against the disc that rotates. There's legislation for the disc that rotates, but the bit that actually does the work.
We have nothing in the UK at the moment.
So therefore, reusing the original gear that was made by, in that case, Ford, is the way to go.
Is the best way.
Have you got any examples of any rubbish Chinese ones?
Yep, I have. 2 seconds.
That is I'm absolutely blown away. That's terrifying because, you know what, let's be honest here. Like, you're driving down the road, your engine packs up, you can pull over. You're driving down the road, your brakes pack up.
So this is one we bought in to have a look at it. It's obviously not the same caliper as that, but that's come from China. You tell me what that's made up, I have no idea.
It weighs nothing. Like, so that's a casting, right?
Yeah.
And the issue is
what's in that casting, I cannot tell you.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
So in other words, we should all be reusing and remanufacturing the calipers that come with the cars we have. That, honestly, if you could feel that, it is like the difference in that is at least a third the weight of that.
Yeah.
So there's more material in that. The density of the material in comparison to that nonsense, I would not risk my wife and my kids and my mates on something like that.
Exactly. And when will you know when it's no good? When you put your foot on the brake when it's too late.
That's the only place for that.
Exactly.
Right, should we go and get that strip then?
Yep, no
Come
problem.
on, let's do it. Right.
So Nigel, Revolution Race Cars, tell us about it. What's the principles behind it?
So Revolution Race Cars, we're a race car manufacturer based in Peterborough. The whole mission and vision of the business is about bringing the safety standards and technology that are enjoyed in F1 and bringing that down into national level motorsport. So the company was founded by Phil Abbott and his son James Abbott, and Phil was actually one of the co-founders of Radical back in the late 90s. And when he came out of Radical, what he wanted to do with Revolution was take that sports prototype concept for club racing and bring the technologies down into that with Revolution, and as a result Revolution was born.
And obviously F1 is most technology advanced. Are they passing enough down to the rest of the automotive world?
Yeah, I mean it trickles down in two ways. One of the key things with F1, it trickles down into road cars, and that's to do with the manufacturers obviously. Actually trickling it down into motorsport is totally different, and the cost of development in motorsport is very high, so it trickles down a little bit more slowly in motorsport. I mean, with Revolution, where we started was the carbon fibre monocoque. We wanted a monocoque that was very light, very stiff, so you've got consistency from lap 1 to lap 3000, but more importantly very safe, and that technology has come down from that level of sport.
How quickly does it drip down to you now? Is it quicker than it's ever been?
Yeah, I think so, and a lot of that is to do with communication and just technology in general. And obviously the background of Phil and James being in motorsport for 50 odd years, 75 years between them, they know all of the specialists and manufacturers, and so we bring a lot of that technology through partners. So for example, on this car here, you can be adjusting the throttle map, you can be adjusting the power steering, you can be adjusting the traction control, slip and gain, all from behind the wheel of the steering. And that steering wheel looks like an F1 wheel, and that technology comes from people like Life Racing and things like that. So it's knowing who to partner with that can bring the technologies that are used in F1 down into this level of motorsport.
It definitely needs to feed down, doesn't it? But also I think the experience of other people needs to feed back up to F1.
Yeah, and it's great to see that some people that have worked with Phil now work in F1. There's multiple people that have come from Phil's background that end up in F1. So absolutely, what we want to do is provide almost a training ground for people that can then go on and have good careers in the industry, and that comes from today. For example, our partnership with Wolverhampton University or University of Wolverhampton Racing. The idea there is that those students will be working with us in our factory. We'll be giving the university projects to work on, and that is all about getting people into motorsport as a career and progressing from there.
And they're the future, aren't they? That is why you're involved with the university.
Absolutely, and the UK motorsport scene is so strong, and we've got to protect that. When you look at any country around the world, there isn't another country in the world that has got the specialists that we have, and we've got to really hang on to that and make sure that continues for many generations.
So is it a balance of getting the students in to learn about the industry, but also getting the specialism from up the top down so they can teach the students?
Yeah, it's a balance of getting them in, but also that having a career path. You know, if they can see that there's a career path to a very successful career, then you know, then that's fantastic. And with it being very specialist, you know, the salaries can be really good as well. So it's about making sure that people are aware of the opportunities in the industry.
How lucky is the UK with what we have?
I mean, racing scene, and you know, when you look at the racing scene and the level of race drivers, for example, you know, anyone that wins a championship in the UK can win a championship anywhere in the world, and that's because, you know, the UK is so focused on motorsport, that both from a technical development perspective and a driver development perspective.
On the basis of that, who's going to be F1 champion in 2025?
Let's go Lando Norris.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you.
No worries.